Alright, hello. Today we'll be... Alright, hello. Today we will be talking about how to go about artifacts. Probably the most complicated thing in this game. It's very complex, it's very annoying to deal with, but if you want to optimize damage and whatnot, then you gotta deal with it. So just so you know, the lines can never be the same as the main stats. I'm just going to click through a bunch of artifacts and you'll see that the lines here will never be the same as the main stat. So over here, crit rate, we don't have crit rate here. Crit damage, we don't have crit damage here. Elemental mastery, we don't have elemental mastery here. Energy recharge, we don't have energy recharge here. Attack percentage again, no attack percentage here. So yeah. Firstly, I want to clarify the terms that I will be using in this video. So I call this the main stat, as I'm sure most of us do, and then I call these lines. So I think some people call it substats, but I prefer to call it lines because, for example, when you go to the weapons, I call this the substat. But anyways, for an overview of this video, I'll be going over, firstly, this is how I manage my artifacts. So use what works for you, and if it doesn't work for you, then it's all good. And I hope that this helps give you more perspective on how to go about dealing with artifacts. Alright, I'll then go over what main stats I look out for, and then what lines I look out for as well. Then we will talk about the rule of thumbs I currently use, how I choose which artifact to keep or work on, and then lastly how I go about upgrading and then when to drop the artifact if I don't like the upgrades. Alright, so we all know that artifacts are complicated because they're completely RNG. So get ready for some brain pain. Alright, so on flowers and plumes, we know that the main stat will always be flat HP and attack. And so we'll move straight on to the sands. So for the sands, I generally like to have attack percentage or energy recharge. I think those two are easily the safest stats, main stats to have on the artifact. Energy recharge I really like for supports in general, and then attack is just safe otherwise. I don't really care too much about the other stats such as elemental mastery or defense, HP, unless, for example, Venti in particular, Venti and Sucrose. Elemental mastery is nice, maybe I think that's like a thing for anime characters, maybe elemental mastery is better, but even then, with Sucrose, as you can see, I put energy recharge on her because her Q is just, it costs so much. Next up we have the goblets, and I normally like elemental bonuses on the goblet. I think, for example, attack percentage can kind of be okay. My friend did a test where attack percentage seemed to do only a few K less damage on Zhongli's Q compared to Geo bonus damage, but that's still a few K, it's still a big deal. And for example, with Chi-Chi, I will go attack percentage on her because healing scales of attack. I don't really think there's a point in doing cry damage, as far as I can tell. Lastly, on circlets, I tend to like crit rate or crit damage the most, but they're not easy to get with good lines. Right, so this is like kind of okay, and this is kind of okay too. I was farming really hard for a crit rate circlet with the Crimson Witch, but it was really hard. So I ended up just doing attack, and because it had the crit rate and crit damage lines and it got decently upgraded, I'm using that right now. But yeah, like I have a crit rate one here that I'm keeping for now because I'm not sure whether it will be that good, but these lines are just really crap. And then one thing to decide between whether you want crit rate or crit damage on your specific character is, when you look at the crit rate crit damage ratio, there has been maths done, and apparently you get the most damage output if your ratio is 1 to 2, which is your crit rate is half of your damage or your crit damage is double of your crit rate. So right now I'm pretty much the 1 to 2 ratio, and then at the end, at the fully end, you'll have something like 100% crit rate and 200% crit damage. That's kind of what you're aiming for. Alright, so for the lines of artifacts, I generally would say it's amazing if you get something with crit rate and crit damage and attack percentage for your DPS, main DPS or support DPS characters. Flat lines are always bad. They're just, there's not much to say about that. It's just bad straight up. I don't really like HP percentage on this, but because I was just really desperate, as I said before, to get something, a nice hat, so I can get the set bonus effect. And this is pretty good for now. But eventually I do want to change this to crit rate. And then hopefully I get some attack here, crit damage, and I don't know, energy recharge or something. I don't know. So for the supports, I can't really show you the lines that I like right now because I haven't really touched them still. I'm still working on the damage, and just having stuff on them just for the set piece bonus is good enough. I didn't really care too much, or I haven't really needed to rely on it too much. Like this isn't really useful at all on Bennett because he doesn't scale his damage buff off of attack percentage. It's only the base attack. But this is really nice, HP percentage. And then where I can, I will get energy recharge on the support characters. I really like energy recharge on supports. I don't think they're that nice on the main DPS or support DPS, but they're also not bad. Definitely better than flat lines. Probably better than the defense percentage and HP percentage if your character doesn't scale off of it. Alright, so now when it comes to how I decide whether to keep an artifact or not and whether to work on it, I have some rule of thumbs that I use kind of loosely because it requires, like, there's so many possibilities of how useful a artifact can be, maybe in the future or maybe just later down the line I realized that this artifact might have been really good, or I really needed it, or that I wanted to play differently, stuff like that. But some rules that I go by is that if there are at least 3 lines that are percentage, then I'll keep it. And then if there's crit rate and crit damage, then I'll keep it, even if like one of the lines or even 2 of the lines is flat. Or if there's also attack percentage and crit rate and attack percentage and crit damage. So because I said before that you can't get a line that is the same stat as the main stat, when it comes to circlets in particular, if you get attack percentage and whatever the opposite of the main stat is, so if it's crit rate then you get crit damage, then it's worth keeping as well. And then lastly, I do like artifacts that come straight away with 4 lines, because what that means is that you get 1 extra upgrade. So normally if you get, let's see, right, so normally if you get 3 lines on an artifact, then when you get it to +4, it will add another line. But what that means is that you're losing an upgrade. Because when you have an artifact with 4 lines, when you get it to +4, it immediately upgrades any of the lines. So you're essentially getting more stats. And so when I get 4 lines, like a 4-line artifact, then I'm more likely to keep it just because it's 4 lines. Even if it's possibly crap, but if it's got something, you know, like energy recharge and attack percentage, this could be really good, for example, on Chi-Chi. If I don't want to use Main and Beloved, which I most likely do, but you know, you never know. Lastly, it's very unlikely, it's very rare to get 4 lines that are percentages. And even if you do, you know, they're not gonna be that good, because right now, I would rather switch HP percentage or defense percentage for crit damage, and that would have been amazing. But I'm keeping this anyway because it's 4 lines and it's all percentages, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so now I'll talk about my thought processes as I go through every artifact and then decide whether to keep them or not. So with the first one, this is a obvious keep for now because it has 4 percentage lines. I kind of just default to keeping them when it's percentage lines. I don't really care too much about what the lines are exactly, just because it's just so nice to have. And then I'll leave it on the side for now. Right, I'll come back to it later. Note that I have not worked on these, right? So just keep remembering that even though I'm keeping them, it's more just in case, or because they may have potential. And as with this one, I'm keeping it because it has 3 percentage lines, but it's also 4 lines already. With this, I don't keep obviously because it's 3 flat lines. So this one's really nice for Xingyan, I think. So it's got defense percentage on the main stat if you want to build her shield more, even though I have heard that it's kind of crap, the scaling. But you know, defense percentage as the main line, as the main stat, and then we got 3 percentage lines. I'm keeping this circlet even though it has 2 flat lines because it's a noblesse set. It has HP percentage, which will be good for example Bennett if I want to use this set on him. And right now I don't have any other circlet from noblesse that gives HP percentage, so I'm keeping it for now, but I won't I don't really want to work on it, and I'm gonna try my best to grind the artifact domain to get something that's better than this. And I'm just leaving it here for now, just in case I really do need to use it when some event or something happens that makes me really have to use it. Over here again, this is an elemental bonus, and so it's definitely kind of worth keeping as a goblet, because when the time comes and I want to use this set on a particular character that's Electro, I just really want the main stat because it's just too good. Alright, so with this one you might think, why am I not keeping this one? It seems kind of decent, right? It has attack percentage and it has energy recharge, but then it has flat defense. The main reason why is simply because I had better ones. So over here we have the crit rate and crit damage one, which is nice. If we look at my main one that I'm using on Shinya right now, it has defense percentage, which is what I'm trying out on her. Energy recharge, crit damage, right? That's already 3 lines, nice. So I don't really want to bother with this one anymore now that I have better ones already. And so pretty much once I get better ones, originally I'm pretty sure I had this locked, but now I have unlocked it because now I'm okay with ditching it. Right, we see some more of my feathers. I have 3 lines for percentages. We have crit damage and attack percentage, which is I think more better than energy recharge. Energy recharge is a bit iffy, so when it's just energy recharge, it depends on what other lines energy recharge is with. And then if it's with only attack percentage, then I don't care too much. If it was with crit rate and energy recharge, it might be worth keeping. But attack percentage is one of the ones I care for a bit less versus crit rate and crit damage. So over here you see that I'm keeping crit rate and energy recharge, just as I said. Nice. Oh, I practice what I preach. Nice. Yeah, so because this has crit rate and energy recharge, then I'm keeping it. Alright, now we'll have a look at artifacts that I have upgraded and then decided to not really work on anymore, or if I will be okay with ditching them. So first one we have is right here. If I recall correctly, I was upgrading it, and then for both the +4 and +8, it upgraded defense. It was either that, or I was on 3 lines, and then I +4'd, I got elemental mastery, and then I +8, and then I got defense. And so now I'm iffy about whether I want to continue this one. I think for this one, I was on 3 lines, and then because it was cryo, I just wanted to have a cryo artifact, because at that time I didn't have any cryo goblets. And then when I +4'd, it gave me flat attack, and so I decided to ditch that too. As you can see, it's unlocked. With this one, I'm not so sure just yet whether to ditch it or to unlock it, because it could be useful for Xingyan, for example. And then lastly, at +16, if the artifact is good overall, so if it has only upgraded the stats that I wanted it to upgrade, then that's cool. But it seems like this one might have upgraded HP once, and so from +16 to +20, by the way, of a 5-star artifact, it actually costs a lot more fodder than, for example, +12 to +16, if you didn't know that. So I guess you really want to be careful as to which artifacts you upgrade once you reach +16. With this one as well, I don't plan on upgrading it to +20 because, as you can see, it looked like it upgraded HP and attack a bit too much. It didn't give much to energy recharge, and this was when I was still early in the game, so I just wanted to upgrade something to have. Another one, I started upgrading HP percentage, and then I think I might have also upgraded energy recharge, and so now I'm not really sure whether to use it or not. I was upgrading it to see if I could replace this one. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like it will replace because the crit damage here is just too good. And over here, it's not going very high. Instead, it upgraded both energy recharge and HP percentage. And that's kind of lame. Okay, so let's look at this one. With this one, we have the 3 percentage lines, and maybe or maybe not, I got my 4th line already. But it went pretty hard into HP percentage. So that's really nice for Zhongli, and so that's why I decided to go all the way. For this one as well, this one's really nice. It went hard into energy recharge. It didn't touch defense at all, I'm pretty sure. And it went into some defense percentage, but that's okay because it's for Xingyan. And then it also, I don't remember if it touched crit rate. I think it might have upped crit rate once. And so overall, it was a pretty nice artifact, so I was okay with plussing it to 20. And another thing to note is that obviously, when you plus from 16 to 20, you don't know what the last upgrade is going to be. So regardless, if the previous from 1 to 16 were good upgrades, then you pretty much just have to take the gamble for the plus 20 and just see what you get. And then regardless of what you get, you probably keep it anyways for the time being because it's a plus 20, so it will give a lot of main stat. Alright, and that's about it for this video. I'm sorry if it was a bit all over the place. I swear to you, I tried to structure this video. I have a Word document that I made dot points and I tried to structure it, but as I said at the beginning of the video, it is a little bit complex, it's a bit complicated. And then if you have any more questions, then comment below and I'll answer, or maybe even make another video. But yes, that is pretty much how I deal with artifacts. I hope it helped. I hope it gives you more perspective. I hope it allows you or makes it so that you don't waste your resin, because you know, every time we fodder artifacts, we only transfer 80% of its experience to the next artifact. And so if you keep doing that, then you are literally wasting resin. Alright, and lastly, we will now look for the cloud of the day. I think we have a few good contestants today. It's kind of hard, not so easy. And some of them are fading away. I think this one looked nice just before I started recording. And now this one is starting to look nice. You know, we'll go with this cloud. It looks nice, although it is covered. Oh wow, I was about to choose this cloud, but then it got taken over. Well, it didn't get taken over. It started to fade away, and now I can't choose it. So you know what? We'll choose this cloud before it's too late. And yeah, even though I would like another cloud because this cloud is being combined, and now it's, oh my god, it's fading. Wow, it's very short-lived and very in-the-moment thing, huh? To have to choose a cloud. But maybe that is the beauty of choosing a cloud of the day, because it will only be there for so long and we can only appreciate it in the moment. Yes, alright, well that's it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.